Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give our praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Chakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect out here pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the foot you do. We love you. We appreciate you through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, and Shalom to y'all. This is your brother Dawud Dodd from the Great Millstone Camp in Atlanta. Lord willing to give you an edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi. All right, who the world ignorantly calls God, his name is Yahweh, meaning he is or he exists or he to be. Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, his name is Yahweh Shai, meaning he is the Savior or he is the deliverer. He saves, he delivers. If you're watching this now, you're a so-called black, Native American, or Latino man or woman, then you are a Hebrew Israelite according to the Holy Bible. All right, you would not find black, Native American, or Latino in the Bible. All right, so you need to know who you are according to the Bible. All right, certain people in the Bible, all right, you so-called blacks, Native Americans, Latinos were promised the glory covenant, salvation, and the kingdom. All right. So that's why it's important. All right. Now, if you don't look like a so-called black, Native American, or Latino, but you feel like this is the truth and it resonates with your spirit, well, then there's a good possibility that you could be a Hebrew Israelite as well. Does not matter what you look like. Does not matter what color your skin is. It only matters that your bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, Jacob had his name later changed to Israel. Israel in the Hebrew is Yasharallah, meaning he is the prince of the power. All right, we are continuing in 2 Kings chapter 11 now. Okay, now we have been reading these, but just read along, but in context of learning about our history, learning about our forefathers, learning about the accounts. You don't know history, you do not know the Bible. I don't even want to hear it. All right? As say our apostles and elders and through the spirit. All right? Starting off in 2 Kings 11, subtitle reading, Athaliah, Queen of Judah. It says, verse 1, and when Athaliah, the mother of Ahaziah, saw that her son was dead, she arose and destroyed all the seed royal. But Jehoshaphat, the daughter of King Joram, sister of Ahaziah, took Joash, the son of Ahaziah, and stole him from among the king's sons, which were slain, and they hid him, even him and his nurse, in the bedchamber from Athaliah, so that he was not slain. And he was with her, hid in the house of the Lord 6 years. And Athaliah did reign over the land. And the 7th year, Jehoiada sent and fetched the rulers over hundreds with the captains and the guard, and brought them to him into the house of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, and made a covenant with them, and took an oath of them in the house of the Lord, and shewed them the king's son. And he commanded them, saying, this is the thing that ye shall do. A third part of you that enter in on the Sabbath shall even be keepers of the watch of the king's house, and a third part shall be at the gate of Sur, and a third part at the gate behind the guard. So shall ye keep the watch of the house, that it be not broken down. So remember these key points, because remember, this is our history. All right, so we are remembering the things of our forefathers, and listen. There were great battles. There were wars. Just as you have books like social studies and history and whatnot, Esau has his books in his universities, and in his books, he's going to have, all right, and not just his universities. He teach them to you too in grade school. All right, you are going to have all the accounts of their forefathers, right? So Alexander the Greek, right, which you would know as known across the world as Alexander the Great. I mean, you have so many. The Roman Empire, the Grecian Empire, the Athenian Empire, right? They have what's this devil's name? Napoleon Bonaparte, George Washington. They have all these books and they have their history. They have the dates and they have the times. I mean, they have the geographical locations and things. Well, guess what? The Lord does too. You see, they might not say 1970. It's not gonna say that. You know, it's up for you to read a lot of the scriptures to try to get the dates and research a lot of the dates that are not spoken of in the scriptures. However, the point I was wanting to make was that we have the same thing. So they make you study history, and then you got to take a test at the end of it. So they know their history, right? They know all their historical events that take place, all their wars and these types of things. Well, guess what, man? Well, we got it too, right here in the Bible. You see? We have it right. We have it too. We have it as well, right here in the Bible. All right? Which they get that from us because this is what's written. All right? This is what's written. All the historical events, but they they do the same thing, but it's in here it's just kind of like small accounts that is talked about. But with if they have like a book going into the Roman Empire or something like that, they're gonna have all the Caesars and they're gonna say how they reign and stuff like that. It's pretty much the same thing, man. Historical records. All right, verse 7, Salakia, rambling on. It says, "In two parts of you, all you that go forth on the Sabbath, even they shall keep the watch of the house of the Lord about the king. And ye shall compass the king round about, every man with his weapons in his hand. And he that cometh within the ranges, let him be slain. And be ye with the king as he goeth out and as he cometh in." And the captains over the hundreds did according to all the things that Jehoiada the priest commanded, and they took every man his men that were to come in on the Sabbath, with them that should go out on the Sabbath, and came to Jehoiada the priest. And to the captains over 100 did the priest give King David's spears and shields that were in the temple of the Lord. And the guards stood, every man with his weapon in his hand, round about the king, but from the right corner of the temple to the left corner of the temple, along by the altar and the temple. And he brought forth the king's son and put the crown upon him and gave him the testimony. And they made him king and anointed him. And they clapped their hands and said, "God save the king." It says, "And when Athaliah heard the noise of the guard and of the people, she came to the people in the temple of the Lord. And when she looked, behold, the king stood by a pillar, as the manner was, and the princes and the trumpeters by the king. And all the people of the land rejoiced and blew with trumpets. And Athaliah rent her clothes and cried, 'Treason, treason!' But Jehoiada the priest commanded the captains of hundreds and officers of the host, and said unto them, Have her forth without the ranges, and him that followeth her kill with the sword. For the priest had said, Let her not be slain in the house of the Lord." All right, so we're reading verbatim here. All right, so not much to be broken down. We're reading it. It's a read along. Reading it, which is reading the accounts and reading the history. All right, so let's continue. It says, "And they laid hands on her, and she went by the way by the which the horses came into the king's house, and there was she slain. And Jehoiada made a covenant between the Lord and the king and the people, that they should be the Lord's people, between the king also and the people. And all the people of the land went into the house of Baal and brake it down. His altars and his images brake they in pieces thoroughly, and slew Matan, the priest of Baal, before the altars. And the priest appointed officers over the house of the Lord." And by the way, this will happen when Yahushua comes back, all right? Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. When he makes his return, this is what's going to happen, okay? These people who we've told are Hebrew Israelites, and they still want to be in Christianity, and they still want to be in Roman Catholicism, and they still want to be in Islam, all right? They still want to be Buddhists. They still want to be Hindu. Whatever religion is out there in the world, other than being a Hebrew Israelite and serving Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, these people, the same things will happen to them. All right. And rightfully so. The Lord said that he would break down the temples. He said that. That's going to happen. And we're going to see it. Right. And those missiles are going to hit. We're going to be happy. The missiles are going to hit here in Babylon, man. All right. America is in the Bible is Babylon the Great. Also, I know we talk about the inspiration in movies. In Troy, in the movie Troy, they had hid in one of the temples and had attacked. I think they let them go, but yeah, they had attacked the was it the Athenian Empire? I believe it's the Athenian Empire, but that reminded me of how in this chapter here where we were there in the temple, and it said every man on the left corner and every man on the right corner. You gotta watch. There's a scene in the movie Troy that happens just like that too. I think they killed a couple men within the temple. It says verse 19, and he took the rulers over hundreds and captains and guards and all the people of the land. They brought down the king of the house of the Lord and came by the way of the gate of the guard to the king's house. He sat on the throne of the kings, and all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was in quiet. And they slew Athaliah with the sword beside the king's house. 7 years old was Jehoash when he began to reign. 7 years old. Which actually goes into a lot of things that, I have conversations with people a lot of times in the world where we speak about how really it's this world that makes you, mentally young. And all you hear, that's my baby. There's a old hag, I guess you want to call it. Shorty look good as hell though. Who was with a NBA player, but she's like, I guess in her almost 40 or in her 40s or something like that. And I guess the man that she's engaged to might be I don't want to become an adultery. I don't know if they engage or together, but I remember this on social media like a couple years ago, maybe a few years ago, where he's like 22 or 23, but she's like 40, so or close to it. So, obviously the loud black woman, but a lot of people are saying, "Oh, he a baby. She ain't right for that," as if literally there's something wrong with that, right? But they're taking good things to be bad and bad things to be good. So that's nothing that's even a thing. In the ancient world, that wouldn't have been a thing. Only thing would have been like, damn, nigga, you taking a old woman to be one of your wives? That's really what would have, he would kind of been, they would have been like, okay, whatever. I mean, she is fine though, you know what I'm saying? But, it would never have been, oh, she's this age and she's statutory rape. No, it's not. It's not. But that's what they're saying. They're trying to make it seem, you know why? Because they're always trying to, they're always trying to record the actions of a man's rod. These women, they want full control over your rod, man. But you're not to give them that power. Screw them. I'm going way off topic, but he's only 7. Jehoash, he's only 7 years old. But today's it's always, oh, he's a baby. And I watched a video not too long ago of this kid who was riding a motorcycle, and on his license plate it said "will run," and he led these cops on a long chase, man. I mean, he's running lights and stuff. He could have killed somebody. And the kid's 19, and then when he gets off the bike, hey, I'm just a boy. Oh, I'm just a boy. It's like, and one of the cops was like, oh, but you playing grown man games, right? Are you playing big boy games? So you it's because why? His mom probably was like, oh, it's my baby. He's just a baby. America, the way that they have the age system and all that, and they talk about the prefrontal cortex and all that. It makes adults grow up with a lack of accountability. Right? You think you're a baby at 26 years old. Even, you'll hear people in their 50s say, oh, you're a baby. Nigga, I'm 30. The hell are you talking about? Oh, you're just a baby. And you get what they're saying, because they're saying that you got a lot to go, you got a lot to learn and experience, the life, but stop saying that these people are just babies, man. All right? And in Babylon, once you turn 18, you're considered an adult. In some states, 16, you're allowed to go live on your own, So you got to stop calling them babies and stuff like that. Now, this man was 7 years old when he began to reign. You see? All right. So what you gonna say about that? And he's people are getting put to death behind him, right? So yeah, man. Lord, when he was edified, went it off by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Chakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, the great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. And shalom, Akim. Shalom.